Foundation, the Leadership Conference on Civil Rights Education Fund, and the Ad Council.
1450 WOL.
All right, everybody, welcome back to class. This is another moment, the C. Allen Morning Show. We appreciate you so much here on 1450 WOLAM, where information is power. And this is what we're discussing today. We're talking about what is that on your head. We're talking about hair. When we talk about hair, everyone, write this down. When we talk about hair, the composition of hair, I go by the terminology cons. I say cons, COHNS. That is my breakdown because it's carbon, oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, and sulfur. That is actually the composition, the chemical composition of hair. And that's carbon, oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, and sulfur. And that is why I call it the cons, because it's easy for me to remember all of those chemical things. I wasn't really good in chemistry. But one of the things that we talk about at the Bennett Career Institute that people must understand is that doing hair is not about saying, and I got a major problem with this. I'm going to try to stay on track today, please. There's nobody in here but me, so, I don't want to have to go off because ain't nobody here to control me. But listen to me and restrain me. But I have a problem when people think that because they can't go to college, and people think because they may not be able to do great things, with their mind, supposedly, that they push them towards beauty school. And so what they do is they say, oh, well, you'll never make it in college. You never pass the exam. So go ahead and just go on and apply to beauty school and become a hairdresser or a barber. And what they keep forgetting is that in class, especially at I can't speak for no one else, but at the Bennett Career Institute, we train you on chemistry and chemistry anatomy. We train you on the cells and the four systems. You have to learn the muscles. You have to learn all the chemical components of hair, skin. You have to know everything in reference to the body. When we finish the textbook, it's almost like we are a doctor of cosmetology or a doctor in barbering. Remember what I told you last week? I got a lot of emails about that, about what in the world was the red, white, and blue that you see swirling around. Some of you missed that last week. We talked about how before barbers was barbers, it was barber surgeons, and barber surgeons, they did dentistry, they did pull-letting, they did teeth pulling, they did all those kind of things, and they were able to do a minor surgery. So that's why the dental chair and the barber chair look similar. The red was for the blood, the blue was for the veins, and the white was for the bandage. That was last week's lesson. You should have came to school instead of hooked. You always got to listen to the C. Allen Morning Show, because when you miss out something great. So we're not going to go into that. We're going to talk now about the structures of hair. There are three structures of hair, everyone. That is the cuticle, the cortex, and the medulla. Many of you heard about the cuticle. You hear these commercials about helping the cuticle, and you hear commercials about the cortex and the cortical layer and all of that. C. Allen's going to break that down for you. When we talk about the hair cuticle is the outermost layer of hair. It consists of a single overlapping layer. It's transparent. It's scales like it's like shingles on the roof. That's what it looks like. The cuticle layer provides that barrier that protects the inner structure of the hair, and it lies tightly against the cortex. When we talk about the cuticle, we're talking about it is responsible for creating that shine, that smooth, that silky feel of the hair. That's the cuticle. Now, a lot of people talk to me about coming to, a couple of weeks ago, I had an opportunity for you to come to the C. Allen Signature Salon. I was giving away the first 5 people the hydration station for free, and everybody was having. They said one of the listeners who came in asked 1,000 questions about the hydration station and all of that. That is what we're going to be talking about in a second. What is very important is the cuticle protects the hair from penetration and prevents the damage to the hair fibers. Now, when we use anything with an alkaline pH, which is potential hydrogen, when we use that to penetrate the cuticle layer, it causes the cuticle to lift, and now it exposes the cortex. This is the most important part of the structure of hair, everyone, is the cortical layer. The cuticle is just a little covering. The cortex is where everything is deposited in the cortical layer. And I'm going to tell you why it's important for you to get those treatments. People don't understand why. And listen to me, I'm going to tell you. Now, I own several salons, but some of you who cannot go into the salon, I'm going to tell you an easy way to do your hair, even though we expect you to come to the professionals. But there's also several different ways, and we're going to talk about that momentarily. But listen, when we talk about the cortex, that is the middle layer of the hair. That's where your protein is, and that's where it contains the melanin pigment. So what that means is about 90% of your hair weight comes from the cortex. When we talk about elasticity, what is elasticity? Being able for your hair to stretch and go back to its natural form. When we talk about hair color, when you deposit hair color, that goes into the cortical layer. The changes involved in the oxidation of hair color, wet setting, thermostyling, permanent wave, and chemical hair, all of that goes into the cortical layer. So this is why it's important. So let's go over what is the hydration station at the Sea Island Salons and Spas. We have two at the Signature Salon, which is 705 Florida Avenue, and we have one at the Martin Luther King location, which is 2100 Martin Luther King. What the hydration station, what it really means, everyone, is a high-tech steamer that what it's going to do is it's going to, once the water hits your hair, the cuticle is already open, okay? So anything on a pH of 7, and water is 7 on the pH scale, that means that the cuticle is going to pull back and it's going to expose the cortical layer. So once you shampoo that hair, or once water hit it, anything of that nature, it's going to open up that cuticle. Now, when we talk about conditioners, some people say, what is the importance of conditioners? When we open up that cuticle layer, and especially with the high-tech steamer, with the hydration station, then what happens is everything that we're now putting on your hair goes into that cortex layer, which means your conditioner now. What is that conditioner going to do? That conditioner is going to now bring back moisture to your hair. It's going to be able to, because what's going to happen is that we're going to deposit all of this in the cortical layer, and then they're going to seal it back with the cuticle that's going to lock it in. So what you got to remember is after you get, let's say for an example, if you have a dry scalp, if you get relaxers, if you have natural hair, everyone is, and especially during the different seasons of the year, we all must get a deep penetrating conditioning. That deep penetrating conditioning will allow moisture to be built back into the hair. A lot of people come in, and I have a lot of senior citizens who listen to me, who come to me. You know, we have senior citizen days on Tuesdays and Wednesdays at the Bennett Career Institute, as well as the Sea Island Salons and Spas, Martin Luther King, and the Signature Salon, 705. We do senior days where the senior prices are extremely ridiculously low. And the reason why we do that, and a lot of seniors come in and they say, well, Sea Island, I don't have enough today to get a deep conditioner. Let me explain something to you, especially those who still get relaxers and you get your colors and everything. By you getting that chemical hair relaxer, of course, it's going to, the purpose of that is rearranging over curly hair to a straight form. We understand that. And we understand that when we do that, we're going to strip the hair from everything. You have to then go back to things that is a must. One of them is you must get a deep penetrating conditioner. Do not say, I only have enough for a regular conditioner, when then you shouldn't have got your relaxer that day, sweetheart, because when you get a relaxer, you need to get a deep penetrating conditioner, because now that we have stripped everything, we have to add that moisture back to that hair. By adding that moisture back, going into that cortex layer, that is what's going to give you your vitality. That's what's going to give you the luxurious hair that you want so much, that body, that bounce. Many people said they came and sat under the hydration station and their hair felt great. They felt a lot of movement, a lot of moisture, and that is what's very important. So what you have to remember, when you get that relaxer, two things that has to happen. One, you have to get a deep penetrating conditioner so we can add some of that moisture back. And secondly, you have to get a trim. Some of you And I forgot to answer my girl Pam question about massaging, so we'll get back to that after the break. But some of you killed me because you don't want that hair trim. Oh yeah, I'm going down your street. You don't want that hair trim. You come in, your hair you got split ends all the way to the guards, and then you're going to turn around and say, no baby, I don't want you to cut my hair because I'm trying to let my hair grow. Sweetheart, your hair will never grow as long as you have split ends. The purpose of you, not once you get a relaxer, we have to get rid of that dead hair. We have to be able to snip that hair off. When you have split ends, I don't care what kind of service you're looking for, what kind of beautiful hairstyle, it's not going to look right unless you get a trim. And then some of you hairstylists listening to me, I got a problem with you because you don't understand what a trim is from a haircut. A trim, come on here, a lot of times you're just doing a half an inch off the head or maybe an inch. It depends on how much new growth. But we didn't ask for 3 and 4 inches off the hair, baby. We didn't ask for a whole new haircut. All right, everybody, you need to keep your pens and papers ready. Keep it out. I'm about to erase the chalkboard so we can go back to Massage for Pam when we come back after these messages on the C. Allen Morning Show.